Hey guys, Alex here. Just wanted to update you guys on a couple things. Firstly, don't worry, the Dex Versus will be out on Sunday and back on track for Friday next week. We were out of town last week, having a fun old time, and our schedule got a little wonky. Secondly, if you didn't know, Kelly, Jimmy, and I have a weekly podcast where we talk about Pokemon news, and we do a top 5 list, and we read fan mail every week, and it's doing really well. We just released our 25th episode today, and rather than leave you empty-handed, I'm going to play it right after this. If you like it and you want to hear more, you can find the RSS feed and the iTunes link in the description below. Later, man. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 25th ever episode of the Dex Podcast. I'm Alex.
I'm Jimmy.
And I'm Pokekills.
We made it, you guys. This is a real milestone for us.
You said 25th?
Yeah.
A quarter.
25.
25.
How about that?
That's as older than me.
All right. Now that the official 25th episode ceremony is over, how are your guys's? How was your week? It's been a little bit of time since the last episode, even though it was last week's. Yeah,
because we did the early podcast thing for
we were
the
too
World's
hyped.
tickets.
We were too hyped. Yeah, we had to get those tickets out.
Well,
Shout
not
out
World's Symphony, whatever.
Yeah,
you know.
it was tickets.
Symphony at Worlds.
It was at Worlds,
near
yeah.
Worlds. Shout out to superfan Kevin Bobbitt,
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
winner of those tickets. He sent us all kinds of cool stuff.
Sent us a big, fantastic email with pictures and just good words. It was great.
Yeah, man,
It was
it's awesome. We will check in with that a little bit later. Maybe we'll read it. It's pretty long. Maybe, I don't know what we'll
It's
do.
fairly long, but it's just like, it's a good wrap up of Worlds. I don't know. I really enjoyed reading it. If we don't get to it later, thank you, Kevin, for sending that to us, because that was just
and
dope.
like shout out to that guy.
Yeah.
That guy's the man.
Just awesome guy.
All right.
Well, you just...
Well, we should answer the
weeks.
question that you
Yeah,
posed.
man.
Tell me.
Which was, how was the weeks?
Well,
Watching Worlds was amazing.
Super dope.
really cool, right?
That was like hype. It really got me.
Don't talk about it too much.
Well, it got me super interested in trying
Don't
to
talk
dabble
about it
into
too much.
VGC.
That's also
a
another
little.
part of the podcast later.
Don't spoil
Aside
it.
from Worlds, how was your week?
We went to Disneyland. That was fun.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, we ate at Club 33.
That's why I'm saying it's crazy. You guys went to Club 33. That's dope.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was like way too nice.
I had quail.
Yeah,
the first time.
Oh, I had quail last time I went to like a big Disneyland thing. We went to that California Adventure.
Hotel.
The new restaurant there. Cafe. What is it called? It's a really nice
Is it like
restaurant.
the Vineyard one?
In their new like town square of.
Oh, the one that's in the like movie theater looking building.
Yeah. We went there and I had quail and it was really good.
Yeah,
So
dude,
crazy.
that
It's just a
restaurant
little
is
bird.
probably super good. Inside.
I can't remember the name of it, but it was really good.
Yeah, it's called like Town Square or
It's
something.
like- it's
Circle something.
That's what it is. I can't remember it. It's circus something.
Yeah, that's fine. Disneyland, you guys. It's a
yeah.
great place.
Cool stuff.
There
Not
are
Pokemon
no
related. It's
Pokemon
all right.
there.
Except for wild cats.
Somebody just shouted out the window. My week was pretty good because over my weekend I caught 2 separate shiny Pokemon.
Yeah, Jimmy, why don't you tell everyone how much of a jerk you are?
Okay, I just need to say, first one I'm not a jerk for. I did a proper 40 chain.
Yeah.
Caught myself a nice shiny Flabebe blue flower. So excited.
So cool.
Exactly the one that I wanted. I named that Flagra after the Metroid Prime boss. That is a giant mutated plant.
Yep.
I
Cool.
thought that was appropriate. Anyway, the other one that I caught, though, I was chilling here on Monday with Alex, and we were just in the office, and I had about half an hour to kill because like it was in this weird period where if I like went home then I'd like get home and have to leave immediately. So I thought just like wait half an hour and then go straight to the place I need to go to. And I was like, I'll just start a chain while I wait. And so I'm on the same route, and I started chain. I was like, oh, Smeargle, sweet, I can do a shiny Smeargle. That's great. I get 6 links into the chain, nowhere near 40, and I get the fast music, which is like there's like a random chance of that happening, and if you reset during fast music, it has the same chance as a 40 chain of getting a shiny grass, and I did, and I got a shiny grass. And so in about 5 minutes I was like, I'm gonna chain for a little bit, and then I just got a shiny Smeargle.
He was like, yeah, shiny Smeargle sounds good. I'll commit to that. And then he was done in like, I was just like,
It was crazy.
I think I was reading an
crazy.
article, and like before I finished reading it, he had the damn Smeargle.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
I named that Graffifi off of Kel's suggestion.
But it was originally your, right?
Was Graffifi? I thought
Because I remember, like a while ago, we were all talking about like possible evolution or pre-evolutions of Smeargle, and
my
I
God.
know that Graffifi was tossed out there. I don't even remember which
I
one of
think
us tossed it
Graffifi
out.
was Alex's.
Yeah, let me give you guys. I'm gonna just foreshadow that I'm gonna add a bonus question to this week's community segment question.
Oh gosh.
It's gonna be great.
All right, sounds good.
Any-
Fantastic.
Yeah. So Jimmy's a jerk. Anything else we need to know about this week?
No.
Nothing real cool.
I mean, it's always real
not
cool.
not for like us.
It's always
Yeah,
real cool when
okay,
you're Pokemon
great.
Master.
We filmed some fun episodes today.
Yeah.
I got some neat fan art that was like Scrafty related from Wyatt the Nerd.
Oh my God.
That's
cool.
dope stuff.
So cool. Shout
So-
out to Wyatt too.
so
he's
dope.
he's a cool dude.
We have a lot of cool fans.
Speaking of cool, let's move into the coolest segment ever. That's terrible.
It's all right.
The news. Great.
Neat.
Okay.
Is there a reason we don't call that segment the Muse?
The Muse? Yeah, because that's like a band.
I mean, like
confusing.
MEWS.
I knew what you
Several-
meant. It's confusing
I mean,
for our listeners.
I
I
think
could
not
always
really.
I could always just say Muse every
Muse,
time
like,
in a Mew
Muse.
voice, so it would be not confusing.
It's still confusing.
Like,
It doesn't.
like set it up. Like set it up.
The Muse.
No. Ugh. You say it's time for the
It's time for the Muse. Like, okay,
Perfect.
now it just sounds like a bunch of Muse are gonna roll in and like do a little number. All right, this
I
is
wouldn't be against that.
we are off the track. So
Okay.
here's what happened. So last week we were so hyped because we were talking about Mega Slowbro and Mega Audino being like leaked. Since then, there has been actual footage officially revealed. So they are real, and so we saw some footage of them because they always do like that little like
Yeah.
trailer. And Audino's reveals that it can learn Misty Terrain, which goes along with its fairy typing. Misty Terrain is a cool move.
Yeah, it couldn't learn
makes-
that before, so
Yeah, it makes
interesting.
so that might be a move tutor thing that's happening.
Right.
It keeps you from being able to be statused for a few turns, and when you're on the ground, because it's terrain.
Right.
And dragon moves are nerfed during Misty Terrain.
cool.
I really want to see that utilized. I would like to see interesting things like that and like electric terrain or something like used in battle.
It could work like maybe like if you have like a bulky dragon type and you do Misty Terrain.
So that it like can't be hurt by dragon types.
Yeah, and it can't be statused, so it's like like maybe like
Like a Gudra.
Gudra or something like that.
Maybe like a dual type dragon, so you can still get some good stab. So your own
maybe
attacks
a physical,
are nerfs.
maybe a physical, maybe like Haxorus
Or
and-
Garchomp.
Yeah, because then he can not be like burnt.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. That's
Maybe.
a cool thing. And Slowbro's footage confirms that it does indeed balance on the very tip of its tail, sticking out of the bottom of that shelter
Yeah.
that I'm making air quotes around.
Yeah.
And it actually uses Fire Blast in the clip. And because of that, we can see that Fire Blast actually looks a little different than it does in Pokemon X and Y. It
yeah.
actually looks a lot more like the fire kanji that it looked like in the rest.
Like that's like what it's always supposed to have been. Mm-hmm. But I mean, like as a kid, I was just like, oh, it's the Blair Witch logo,
I thought it was just like
like a star.
I thought it was just like boom, but yeah, like
Yeah, I don't know.
now it's obvious.
Now
that
it's like very obviously
yeah.
like Japanese fire kanji. One thing I noticed when I was looking at the Slowbro footage before we started this, the reason he like there's like a simple change that makes him so it's like such a big personality change on Slowbro visually. Slowbro before he megas, he has his like slack jaw kind of look, and if you look, he has like a lazy eye thing going where both of his eyes are pointing in slightly opposite directions. And after he megas, his eyes are focused forward, and he like closes his mouth as if he like woke up.
Yeah, it's
It's
like
interesting.
he's in so much distress that he's like present in the moment again.
Like maybe, or like it might be a furthering of that one like theory where like Slowpoke is like super smart, and then like Shelter bites his tail, and like the pain brings it back into reality. But like this is like a furthering of that. Like Slowbro is like halfway there, and Mega Slowbro is like fully like, oh, Oh,
He's like,
I get it now. I'm
oh,
awake.
I'm here. He's
And,
like,
it's also cool because in the footage it shows him when he's doing the moves, he almost does have some emotion on his face. Like when
Right.
he's doing Fire Blast, he kind of like does like a little like snarly,
Yeah, he's got, like, a lot of personality.
roar sort of thing. And then he also spins around on the tip of his tail as another alternate battle animation,
Right, when he uses
which is
Grass Knot.
hilarious and cute.
It's
and I really
so
hope,
funny.
I really hope he gets Rapid Spin.
If
from
he
that.
doesn't get Rapid Spin, I'd be mad. I'd be about as mad as I was when I learned that Fairseed can't learn Rapid Spin
because
Yeah.
he spins
after his black and white sprite of him just spinning
rapidly.
so constantly. But yeah, I don't know. I just
but
want
yeah,
to.
I'm really excited. I'm not even
I'm
like,
firmly on Team Mega Bro.
yeah, I'm not positive I'll ever use another Mega Pokemon ever again. I might just have to use him forever.
I'm actually looking since we're all kind of like getting into the idea of VGC now. I'm leaning towards Audino. I like it. I like
It's
Mega Audino.
exciting, right?
It looks great.
It
And
can
I
be
love
cool.
that it makes like a little like cleric like prayer animation when it does some of its moves. Did you notice that? It like opens its mouth and closes its eyes.
Yeah,
and does,
it's
like
like
a little hand folding.
It like knows its
Aw.
role.
Yeah.
It's great.
So cute.
Next bit of news is what we sort of touched on briefly. We're going to just report on it right now rather than like talk about our thoughts on it because we'll talk about that later. But the Pokemon World Championships were last weekend.
so dope.
It was crazy. For TCG, the junior division winner was Haruto Kobayashi from Japan. The senior division was Trent Ordonov from US. And in the Masters division, it was Andrew Estrada from Canada.
Very good match. I didn't catch much of the TCG, but I caught the Masters final, and it was a really close match. Really cool.
I missed a lot of the TCG stuff because I was like at Disneyland / recovering from Disneyland. And in the video game front, the junior division was Kota Yamamoto from Japan. On the senior division, it was Nikolai Zelinsky from the US. And the VG Masters division was Sejun Park from South Korea.
The man,
and
the
he
myth.
may or may not have turned Pachirisu into the Pokemon of the Year for 2014.
I mean, he's a legend now.
It was-
Pachirisu and Sejun together are like
It
legendary.
was crazy. That Draco Meteor that he took with that Follow Me, and he just won the game with that Garchomp double KO. It was so
was-
hyped.
it was a
insane.
really crazy match.
Also, props to that Overheat Talonflame when he got
Jeez.
frozen. He was like, "No big deal. I got this, bro."
We talked about this. First of all, we actually streamed on Wednesday. If you, for any of you Patreon supporters and listeners out there, we're streaming again, and we're on a schedule again.
Yeah, the
and we
Patreon
will
is,
be doing it each Wednesday.
the Patreon is relaunched as of today, Friday.
Right.
So there's going to be a whole new set of rewards and goals there. It's going to be easier for us, and it's going to kind of give us a little bit more.
Honestly, and I think the rewards are a little bit like better for you guys.
make more
too.
sense.
They seem more like rewards
Right.
and less like us, like having to do hours of work.
But anyway, we talked about it on the stream a little bit, but when his Talonflame got frozen in the game by an Ice Punch from the Tyranitar, I was like, it's over. That is an incredible, like, this is over. Sejun lost this one. It's going to go to round 3.
Yeah.
And then, like, and the guy who was facing him, I can't remember his
Jody.
name. Jody. He, like, you saw him, like, the freeze went, and he was like, oh, like, I got this. He, like, stood up
Thank
a little bit, like, sat
God,
down.
yeah.
Yeah, he was like, I can't believe I'm in it. And then Sejun did not flinch for even a second. He
like-
didn't even, like, whatever. He,
was like,
didn't.
"Don't."
Yeah. And then, like, next turn, and this Talonflame just has overheat, and everyone was blown away. I was blown away. I don't know about
I
everybody.
was.
I was blown away.
Also,
was telling-
Sejun Park did like a Shoryuken when he won, which was
He
great.
did. He dealt the final blow, and he like stood
Picks
up.
up his Pachirisu, Shoryuken.
Yeah, he like stood up and like punched the air, and like his momentum just carried him in a full circle before he landed. So funny. I'm Photoshop people out there. Give me a GIF of
Him,
like a
like,
full fire like
Dragon
Shoryuken.
Punch. Yeah. We're saying
What? Oh, I was just. I can't. I don't know. I don't remember.
about Overheat Talonflame.
Oh yeah, I was just saying. I was telling Jimmy earlier that I was just like I was watching it on my phone and I was sitting down and I had to like get up and walk around my kitchen.
For the Overheat.
When that happened, I was
Yeah.
like, I can't believe this.
That
Yeah.
was too good. It was
It
too
was
good.
insane. Like
I'm gonna like rewatch it just to like absorb it because
Yeah.
But all the
Definitely.
matches were excellent.
Yeah.
Right.
Really,
if you
everyone.
want to watch any of the matches, all of the video on demands are up on Twitch TV, twitch.tv/Pokemon.
Yeah, the VODs are there.
All
Yeah,
the
you can
VODs
go
of all the
pick 'em.
finals are there. Not to discredit any of the other finals, they were all great matches, but honestly, Sejun Park and his Pachirisu stole the entire
it was like
world.
Evo level hype. It was crazy.
That was like,
yeah. Shout out to Justin Flynn,
yeah, seriously,
our
man.
man on the scene. we're gonna
Yeah.
try and get him in maybe next week to talk a little bit more about that.
Justin's so good.
Yeah, or sometime soon. We got to have him back on.
Yeah.
Here. That guy's too chill.
He's a great guy.
And also the symphony was this weekend. And we were in the credits, you guys.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I cried.
When on the first night of the symphony, when a couple of our Pokemon tuber friends who were there posted that picture of like guys, we made it, and it was like special thanks to the Pokemon fan community, and there was like Glitch City, Jaywitz, Nintendo fan for the win, Nate wants to battle, and the national decks, just like among all the other
Everyone
names.
that
I'm
was
just saying,
in the
like,
promotion.
So
Right.
hot, so hype, so real.
just like all the people who like were there, just like mentioned by name. I don't know. It was like insane. It was just like
It was
Unreal.
a huge honor.
Yeah.
So if anyone involved in Pokemon Symphony is listening to this, thank you.
thank you so much.
And you
yeah.
didn't have to do that, but thank you. And it literally made my life.
Yeah. Also, I tried not to spoil anything for myself, but from what I was unable to avoid on Twitter, that concert looks hype.
Immense.
Yeah, it looks great. It has a break in the middle, you guys.
Did you guys see Jake Kaufman?
Yeah, he arranged like two of the
He arranged
songs.
two of the tracks for the symphony.
That guy is the champ.
I guess he must have been like under NDA to like talk about it. But then like after the first 2 days, he posted on Twitter and he's like, I can finally talk about this. My friends at the Pokemon Symphony thing, as like they asked him to do like, I think it was Pokemon Center, and like from what he said, like a tower montage.
Wow.
So like,
Yeah.
we get to hear Jake Kaufman
He
music.
is such an incredible
It's like
musician.
his arrangements of the songs. Yeah.
Right.
So
It's
cool.
Great. And I want to go so bad. I can't wait. I can't wait.
That's another person that maybe we can get on here. So maybe Justin Flynn. Why not Jaywitz? Also,
let's
I
get
mentioned.
Jaywitz on here.
I didn't mean to say Jaywitz, but let's get him on here too.
Why not? Right?
But I would love to talk to Vert about the symphony. So we'll see about that too.
Fantastic.
and guys, look out in the future because there will probably be.
I'm going to go ahead and definitely say that we're going to give away more tickets to
Right.
more symphonies.
Yes, and more dates have not been announced yet, but if there's something close to your city, there may be a giveaway for it. So keep your eyes and your ears
Keep
peeled.
your eye on the Dexcast. Keep your eye on the Dex channel.
Yeah, watch us.
Keep your eye on the Dex Twitters.
Follow us on Twitter.
Get back in the news.
Yeah, couple other things. There's been an announcement stream.
An
That
announcement
has
of
been
an
announced.
announcement stream.
Yeah, an announcement stream has been announced. Supposedly, it's a big announcement of a new Pokemon project.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a game or what. Hopefully, it's a game. On August 26th, which is just in a couple days. So wait,
Well,
is that
it'll be tomorrow from
Yeah.
when this podcast goes up.
So
no? No, it won't. It'll be
26th
Tuesday.
is Saturday.
No, it's
Right?
not.
It's not? Am
No,
I dumb?
today's the 20th. So
Oh.
6 days from now
Sorry, guys.
would be Tuesday.
Okay, so I don't
Tuesday.
know my dates at all.
It's 6 a.m. on Tuesday
For Pacific
the
time,
PDT.
which is where we're at.
For Eastern, it's going to be 9 a.m., obviously. It's going to be featuring
have to watch
special
it at work.
guest Tsunekazu Ishihara from the Pokemon Company. He's the president. And Nobuhiko Okamoto and Aoi Yuki. I can't.
Yeah, good.
I'm so sorry.
No problem, dude.
She voiced Iris in the anime. I don't know who Nobuhiko Okamoto is.
he's another Japanese voice actor.
Oh, he's a voice actor.
So I wonder if that can give us a hint as to what this might
And two
involve.
unknown special guests. So maybe
Right.
maybe it's a movie, or maybe it's some sort of like sequel to Pokemon Origins. Or hopefully not, but it could have to do with Pokemon Game Factory, which has since been revealed to be like
A toys.
line of not just toys, but like games and like
They're like
There is a little Pokemon pinball though.
Yeah.
Which I just like maybe want to get for Jimmy for kicks.
That's another thing I have in common with Justin Flynn is we both like Pinball Ruby and Sapphire.
I bought that at SGC. I'm excited to get back into that. I don't know what the hell happened to my copy. I'm very, very hype about that.
Dude.
But yeah, so we're gonna talk about that obviously next week. It'll be fresh in our minds because we record these on Wednesdays.
We do.
So that's exciting. Watch that. What else? Did I forget anything? No, I
Any
didn't.
more news? Well, there was a quick leaked footage.
Oh, that's right.
There was
Right
some
before
leaked footage.
Right.
before we went live to record this, on Poke Beach, they reported that some videos went up on the Pokemon website, main site, I believe the Japanese site, and they weren't on YouTube or anything. And basically, what they showed was you catching a Zigzagoon, and
Pichu evolving.
Okay, yeah. So it had you catching Zigzagoon. So the catching animation is different. The evolution animation is different. Looks
Way
better in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
And it showed the acro bike and the mock bike.
Not necessarily different though. It didn't seem to me like they were different bikes because in
But also
original,
it was hard to tell because one was the male player and one was the female player. So.
Right, but my only reason that I debate this is that in the original Ruby and Sapphire, when you're on the mock bike, you have that slow startup of like 4 or 5 tiles
Right.
where you go slow, and then after that you go double speed. Whereas in the footage that we watched, it seemed like the quote unquote mock bike, the one that was used to get up the like slippery slopes, was just regular speed bike. It seemed like the same speed bike with no startup frames that the acro bike was, and so I'm hoping that it's just combined into one bike because I think
Alex looks like
switching
he's
bikes
looking that up right now.
I think switching bikes would be kind of a pain.
It was kind of.
I'm looking
it is
at the
kind of a pain.
bike. I can't really tell whether or not they're different bikes.
like it could be different.
I granted, I don't speak Japanese, so maybe
Right.
it says in this video somewhere. But according to the post on Poke Beach, it says that the footage shows new evolution animation and the acro and mock bikes in action. So maybe they are still 2 separate bikes, but maybe it'll be a little bit easier to switch between them this time.
Hopefully.
And we also got a nice view of Fort Tree City and a good view of the cycling road
That's right.
and a couple locations
Yeah, the
around
cycling
in the,
road looks really cool.
in the Pokemon world.
And I love the animation on the turning on the bike. It's like
Yeah.
very like
Smooth.
like glidey.
Everything seems great. Also, while we're talking on animations, the animations on May and Brendan or whatever their canon names are going to be for the remakes during the Mega Slowbro and Mega Autono releases are really good when they
Yeah.
use it, doing their Mega activations.
It's
I think their player
definitely
models
clear
look
that
fantastic.
they've really stepped up like the I don't know. I think it was maybe because now that they are going to be discontinuing the 3DS non-XL, that they're trying to make the games in higher resolution, and so
Or
I
just
don't-
look a little
or
bit
just
better.
like look a little bit
little
better.
crisper.
But yeah, everything has looked really, really nice.
Yeah,
on
and
Let's Go
I
released.
think that they're gonna have to like do that because like if there's one thing that was really really not great about Pokemon X and Y, it was like tearing, lag, skipped frames.
Oh my gosh,
stuff like that.
I was actually talking with somebody on Twitter today. I want to use the 3D. I actually do I like the 3D feature on the 3DS. I know a lot of people think it's gimmicky, but I like.
I mean, it definitely is gimmicky,
Well,
but
it's,
it's
like,
still
gimmicky.
enjoyable to
Yeah,
see
like-
like Charizard in 3D.
Exactly. It's
Right.
like cool. And when I first got X and Y, I did use it deliberately just for a moment though, because I'd look at it and like, oh, this like battle looks really cool in 3D. However, it's making me the frame rate goes down like significantly enough to where you can notice it. And what I really would have liked to see is not only for no frame rate issues, obviously, but like 3D feature in the overworld, because they had a lot of really cool places that could have
Yeah.
been 3D compatible.
Talking about that desert.
Talking about Route 8 overlooking the cliffside.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Give me some depth on that. Like that would be dope. Or like Indigo Plateau or Victory Road, excuse me. Like
Yeah.
a lot of cool places that could have used that 3D feature.
When you get out of Victory Road and you're
Yeah.
heading towards the League and there's that big
Exactly.
building. Anyway, yeah, that's all
like
well
I'm
and good.
I'm hoping that with these updates, these visual updates, that they refine the 3D feature for
I'm
Omega
sure they
Ruby
did.
and Alpha
I'm sure there was
Sapphire.
a situation where they had to get the game out, and so
Yeah,
they just
yeah.
put it out. But that aside, I think that wraps it up for the news. So let's move on to the top 5. Tight.
Ooh.
Yeah. So this week, in honor of Sejun Kim Park,
Parks.
Sejun Park. Jeez. We are talking about the top 5 Pokemon that we want to go far, that aren't ever really. It's like the underdogs, like the Rudies, the Rudies of Pokemon, the big green of Pokemon.
I think
the,
we get
I don't
it.
know.
the Anaheim
Big green.
Angels in the outfield of Pokemon.
I think we should just move on to
Yeah.
what the Pokemon are.
The
So our
remember
runner-up.
the Titans of Pokemon. All right, so as always, our runner-up is a Pokemon that is clearly obvious in this category, and there doesn't even doesn't even almost like doesn't. It doesn't matter if we discuss it or not, how much it has to do with this already.
Because it's an example.
And it's a good example. And of course, this week we're going to go with Pachirisu. Follow me. Bulky, Citrus Berry,
So good.
Nuzzle.
Super
Fang and Protect.
Super Fang and Protect. Ugh.
It's just so good. It's the Pokemon that we never knew we wanted to root for.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, yeah,
I was
like,
always super. I
Kelly
really
never,
hated.
Kelly
hated
never even
Pachirisu.
liked it. Actually,
hated him.
actively disliked it. And
I still think he's kind of stupid looking.
She's on the train now, though.
it was
but
just
I
like it was like a
respect
silly
him.
situation where like you're going into the match and you like looked at his team and like Gothitelle, Pachirisu, like what is this kid doing? And then it just like it pans out and everyone afterwards is just like Pachirisu's king. That's it. That's the Pokemon we've all that
All
that
the
is
fan
it.
art has been so cool.
Within moments, fan art was coming out.
Really well done fan art, too. Just
Yeah,
really
and-
awesome.
It's I don't know, it's just inspiring. And it's like it really plays to that whole like use what you love thing. Like because I mean Sejun even had his little Pachirisu plushie
Yeah.
on the table next to his 3DS when he was playing, and it was just like I don't know, it's like kind of an inspiring thing. It makes me want to like
He
go
did
back
that.
and
He did that thing that everybody wants to do.
yeah, he did that thing where like he brought the Pachirisu up and everyone was like, oh, the Pachirisu, and then he actually used it and he actually won with it.
Yeah.
Like didn't just like pop in for a moment. It stole the show. It
Yeah.
took the game.
That bulk.
Just
That
totally
bulk.
did it.
That bulk.
It
All
gets
right.
me. It gets me really hyped. It gets me inspired to try to make a VGC team with my favorite Pokemon.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
instead of things that are just classically strong.
Yeah,
Right.
and I think that, well, we'll get into that later. But number 5 on the list goes to my boy, Muck.
Muck.
Pure poison type, a puddle of goo.
He's so cool.
But he's so neat. He's so awesome, you guys.
I really like him.
It's weird. Like
I've always just had a nice affinity for him.
it must be that Gen 1 thing where it's just been in our minds for so long now. But
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I've been running amok. I didn't even mean to do that. I hate that. I hate that happened. Issue my formal apology to everybody. God damn it. All right. So
okay.
I've been running this muck. Here's the deal. He has the ability Stench, which if you damage your target, there's a 10% chance of them flinching no matter what.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah,
Great.
So that's
Does
his
that
ability.
couple with King's Rock?
No.
Okay.
But he also has sticky hold. He also has sticky hold, and he also has poison touch. But I went with stench, and then I gave him. He has gunk shot,
Oh boy.
which is 80% accuracy, 120 power, physical poison move.
Wow.
Yeah. I gave him. What's that dark type move called?
Dark.
Knockoff.
No, I gave him curse to boost his defense and attack. And it lowers his speed, which is important. I gave him payback, which doubles in power when you move second.
Smart.
Yeah. And what else did I give him? One last thing. Shadow Sneak.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really interesting.
Just to
you know
yeah.
what that reminds me of? Like Muck doing a shadow sneak. It reminds me of Hexus from Ferngully. When he's like in the machine, and he's like, and
Yeah.
he's like that little muck creature.
Yeah. I might swap out Shadow Sneak for Acid Armor,
That's not a bad idea.
just because it's so tight.
if you lose that priority move, I would suggest getting rid of Stench in favor of Sticky Hold, since there's so many knockoff users.
Yeah.
Just like not allowing the knockoff extra damage and keeping your item on hand.
Yeah. Speaking of
Pretty
the
good.
item, the item that you give him is the zoom lens.
Of
I
course.
was going to ask about Zoom Lens because
Yeah.
it makes the gunk shot better.
If you go second, it boosts your accuracy by 20%,
Oh wow.
which gives Gunk Shot perfect accuracy.
Interesting.
And yeah,
wow.
That's great.
And the
Really-
wide lens is 10% just across the board, right?
10% across the board.
Wow, zoom lens. That's really cool.
Zoom
Yeah.
lens, interesting. I never really thought about that. Yeah, Muck's great. I'd like to see,
How is Muck speed?
Muck speed is terrible,
Great.
which is perfect.
which
that's
is why
perfect.
Curse works
But
so
he's
good.
got 100 special defense. He's got 75 defense, 105 attack and HP.
That's great.
That's
pretty
serious.
cool.
That's a chunk of HP right there.
Yeah, and I know that he's not like the greatest, but like I feel like in the right circumstances, he could be great.
I think you're really good. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's number 5. Plus, he's awesome. We were talking about Mega Muck being in a barrel and being steel poison.
That's pretty crazy.
It would make him so much weaker with that like ×4 weakness to earthquake and like the fire weakness on top of it. But like, come on, Mega Muck in a barrel. That's just hilarious.
Too good.
like one of those like green toxic barrels.
Yeah.
But that's number 5. Number 4 is also mine. That's Chinchino.
Yeah. Actually, how you really pronounce it.
The beautiful chinchilla Pokemon.
Chinchilo.
It's so cute.
Yeah, I think he's actually referred to as the scarf Pokemon or something.
What are the Japanese names? It's like very close to Chinchino and
Oh,
Mincino.
I have no idea.
I have no idea.
Or maybe I was thinking of Emolga and Amonga.
Imonga?
Yeah. Anyway,
Anyway.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So what do you run on that Chinchino?
Yeah, he's the scarf Pokemon. So Chinchino is very cool. He's a little Pachirisu type, you know, overlooked, very cool. But his speed, okay, so first of all, his speed is high. It's 115.
Oh.
Which is pretty crazy. And he has Skill Link, which is where all those multiple hit moves hit the max number of times no matter what.
Right.
And he's got 95 attack.
Wow.
And so you give him a Life Orb, and you give him, here's how I run him, is I run him with Rock Blast and Bullet Seed as his 2 Skill Link attacks. I give him Retaliate instead of Tail Slap, because Tail Slap has 85% accuracy, and it makes me sad when he misses it because he's so weak.
Right.
Yeah. So I either give him a Life Orb or a Focus Sash for that reason. I feel like I got to just nut up and give him the Life Orb and get rid of the and just like leave. So Retaliate, you throw him in after somebody's fainted, and Retaliate does like double damage. So it does like 140 power attack, normal type attack, which is like about as good as Tail Slap. It does actually more than, right? Retaliate does 70, does double when you pass out,
Right.
and Tail Slap does 25 power 5 times,
five.
With
with
stab?
125. So he actually does more damage with 1 Retaliate than he does with Tail Slap, and has higher accuracy, and it's great. And then Rock Blast, Bullet Seed for the damage, and then U-turn, or like maybe Thunder Wave or something, Tickle, whatever. And he's pretty good.
Cool.
Yeah. The only one upside you have to Tail Slap over Retaliate, or like
Substitutes.
the major upstate. Yeah. Substitute and Focus Sash.
Yeah.
Could break both of them.
Right.
Which is it's a great bonus.
Oh my god, Chinchino's name in Japanese is Chilichino.
Chilichino.
I love that.
Yeah.
What is
Chilichino.
Mincino's? What is Mincino?
Mincino's.
Chilarmy. It's Chilarmy.
Yeah,
That's what it is. I loved that name.
Chilichino is the name of the McDonald's next rip-off drink from Starbucks.
Chilichino.
Chilichino.
The McDonald's Chilichino.
You know it's real.
I
so
love
good.
those names. I wish they would have kept those names in American localization.
Anyway, Chinchino, really good Pokemon, really cool Pokemon. Think about it. Could it be the next Pachirisu?
Pachino.
Maybe. Number 3 on the list, Jimmy's. It's Cacturn.
Oh yeah, I
Cacturn.
love Cacturn.
So let's talk to us about Cacturn. for a
Cacturn's
minute.
terrifying.
Cacturn's always been really cool. I have an affinity with dark types. I don't know. I just I love most dark types, and Cacturn just has that cool, like, it's a scarecrow, but it's also like it has like a weird like snowman kind of face to it.
Yeah,
You know,
it's really
but like a horrifying
freaky.
one.
Yeah.
And I don't know, there's just like, its Pokedex entries always really interested me, and I've always like liked the typing. Grass Dark is really neat, and it has like cool abilities, and it has great stats. It has like, if I'm not
140
mistaken,
or 130.
I think it's 110 in both attack stats. I'm pretty dang sure. And
Really? I'll tell you right now.
you will tell me right now.
Yeah, he's got wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, he's got 115 in both.
In both attack stats,
Yeah.
special attack and attack. He has a great move pool for those. The only thing is that he's lacking in, like, you know, he's got 60 in both defenses, he's got 70 HP, and he has a abysmal 55 speed. On a Trick Room team, though, he could just mess people up because he has
Throw
a
him
great,
in like 3rd or 4th, just crush dudes.
like, he has access to good stab moves of both types on both sides. He can Sucker Punch. He can, Seed Bomb. Or on special attack, he can Energy Ball and Dark Pulse. So you can build him either special attack or physical attack. He has access to Nasty Plot,
Destiny Bond.
Sucker Punch. Like, he has these like great moves that can pretty much like, I feel like he can be that Mind Games type Pokemon where you give him just the right combination of moves. And like, he has some like really interesting ones like Belch, Fell Stinger. Have you ever heard of Fell Stinger?
Fell Stinger is awesome.
Fell
What is Fell
Stinger-
Stinger?
It's like Moxie, the move.
Fell Stinger is so weird. It's a 30 base power bug type move. If it faints the enemy Pokemon, it essentially gives you a Sword Dance.
Crazy.
And
How
I think
interesting.
if done right, stuff like that, like if they switch in like a special defender against you and you just like come out with like a nowhere Sucker Punch followed by like Fell Stinger or something,
Or,
and
like-
just like, what is going on here? Like, I think he could just be so cool.
He
Or like
also
kind
has
of
his-
late in the game when like somebody's withdrawn a Pokemon that has like 5 HP
Right,
left, that
right.
Fell Stinger
Yeah.
is gonna just clean it up.
Like, I want to see things like that work
That's
out for him because I
cool.
think he has a lot of options with that, like great in both attack stats. I don't know.
He also has Sandveil as his main ability.
Oh,
which
yeah.
in a sandstorm means that he gets hit 3/4 of the time.
Right. Gains that evasion.
Yeah, and his hidden ability is Water Absorb.
Right. That's what I love about him. Switch him in on a water attack.
Catch
Like-
it, give him a special move, and he's
Yeah.
That's great.
It's great. It's great. I love Cacturn. I want him to do great things.
he can like stay alive.
Yeah.
Also, his Japanese name is Noctis, which is really cool.
Pretty dope.
Yeah, Night Cactus.
Also, Bulbapedia says that Cacturn's name is a mix of cactus and debonair, and I just disagree with that.
Wait, which one?
Cacturn. No, wait. Or is it Cacnea? Cacnea. They say that Cacnea's name is a mix of cactus and debonair, and I don't think that's correct because I don't think that Cacnea is a suave cactus.
Yeah, no.
Just wanted to give you that fun fact. I tried to make a mini dex on Cacnea one time. It didn't work out.
Well, we'll figure something out.
Yeah.
No. Okay, I'm gonna clear this up. Cacnea's name is a combination of cactus and its Japanese name, which is Sabonia, which is Saboten, which is
Cactus.
cactus and debonair.
And debonair.
Sabonia.
But I highly doubt that Nya is from debonair.
I don't know
think there's like
why-
a million other things that
I
it
don't
could
know
be.
why they think he's debonair. I'll tell you what though, his shiny is precious.
It is. It's like a gold cactus. It's
Yeah.
like an orange one.
Which I'm sure there's some like real cactus that's that color.
yeah, there's-
He's actually based on a barrel cactus, and it looks exactly like him. It's just a ball. That is a cactus.
great.
But anyway,
I have one in my backyard.
Oh,
A little barrel cactus.
neat. You should draw a face on it.
Yeah.
With a black Sharpie. Kill it.
Okay.
You should stick a paper face onto it.
Also, though, it's covered in spines, guys.
Jack-o'-lantern.
Yeah, barrel cactus spines are extremely harmful.
Barrel cactus, jack-o'-lantern.
They're like some tough
That would
looking
be dope.
spines.
Use a turkey carver so you get the. All right.
Moving
Number
on.
2 is Furret. This is Kelly's.
This is mine.
Talk about it.
Okay, one, Furret is the cutest thing in the world.
It is.
2, so I was
Agreed.
thinking about this weird
Confirmed.
set. This is a weird set. It might not work at all. I haven't tried it,
doesn't
but
have
I
great
thought
stats.
of it. But I thought of it. So he's got pretty good HP, so that's good. He's got fairly passable speed as well.
90 or something like that.
Yeah, his defenses aren't great, but his attack is pretty good. So this is what I'm thinking, right? So you give him. So we start off. Okay, so we throw out 2 Pokemon. One has a move that can protect him. So maybe like Map Block or Wide Guard, who knows? Something. Something that'll like protect him and keep him from getting hit while he hones claws. It raises his attack. And then the next turn you use Protect just to keep yourself safe. And the third turn, you give him a Focus Sash. So the third turn, if he's knocked out, he can still use Toxic. And the last slot is Last Resort, which with 140 base power stab with an attack boost is going to be pretty hefty.
Damn.
So as long as he can stay alive, he's pretty fast. He might be able to outspeed some stuff and hopefully wreck shop. I don't know. Like I said, I haven't tried it, but I might try it. Who knows? He also does get follow me. Ooh, sorry, that was the blinds.
Right. I actually experimented with a Furret one time on my UU team. And I did that because, first of all, I like Furret because he's the cutest Pokemon, period.
Ever.
But also because Furret is a very rare anomaly that he can learn Amnesia and Baton Pass.
Right.
Which is not a very accessible thing.
Which is a double special defense raising move.
Which is Laterman for passing that to Scrafty.
Yeah, super useful. Wow.
Yeah.
If
Jimmy's whole strategy centers around just making Scrafty do really well.
Because really the only thing that doesn't work with him is if you have a special attacker that is just a little too powerful. He can eat almost any special attack except for a fairy type attack. With the Amnesia boost, I dare say you can just eat fairy type attacks like no problem.
Double the special defense?
Double the special defense.
Yeah, no big deal.
Of his already fully invested with a base 110.
He can take it. Yeah. How about this strategy? VGC style.
All right.
Furret's sitting there. He's holding Choice Scarf
Okay.
to set up whatever the first move that he needs to do is.
Good. Okay.
Second turn, same turn, his partner, Gardevoir or whatever, tricks a Life Orb on to him. So
Okay.
now he's got an attack boost.
Okay.
And then he hones Claws. And then
And just goes
and then
for
he
it.
goes to town.
I mean, that seems pretty good too.
It seems unsafe.
I don't know.
But it could work. It'd
It's very
be cool.
risky.
I
But
don't know.
I'm gonna experiment with him
It's
and I'll
a
let y'all
whole new
know.
world. It's a whole new. It's a whole new
I
world
want
in
it to
VGC.
work. I want it to work for you.
Yeah.
I want for it to just like be. Okay.
Yeah.
Real talk. For it's like way cuter than Patricio. Okay.
It's true.
All
It's
right.
true.
Neither of them touched Chinchino. Anyway, here we go. Number one on the list. We all agreed. The number one hero we want to see. Such an unsung, cool guy who
Just like a neat
needs to
Pokemon.
get his day. Ladies and gentlemen, Kecleon.
Kecleon.
The bullet.
He was given a huge gift with Protean in the 6th generation.
He has
so
Protean, so he can use Protean.
He has Protean and he has Shadow Sneak as a level up move.
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
so he can like turn into a ghost and like dodge a physical attack because he's normal type. So
Right.
he's weak against that.
It's like it's such a neat strategy like that already, just like Protean Shadow Sneak and the ability to like switch back and forth between types. But we were talking and he has like some really cool stats. He has access to Snatch, which is a pretty cool move. It steals like status boosts and like recover and stuff if an opponent tries to use it.
Snatch is crazy.
Like with the right mind games, you could essentially like toxic your opponent and then like oh, gonna try and recover out of that. Let me just take that health, and then like they don't recover and they waste a turn and the toxic gets worse.
You can teach him Magic Coat and Snatch, so he just ruins your turns.
He's a great Pokemon.
He's really cool, and he has Color Change too, which is like the opposite.
Yeah, any move you get hit by, you turn into that
And
type.
so you can even use that and like mess with people that way.
Because if you do it on the right
Great.
type, a lot of types resist themselves, like electricity, steel, I believe, and rock as well, and like I think dark.
Yeah.
And a couple more. They like if you hit your own type, they'll like do half damage. And so if you switch them in on a move that's like a rock type move or something, then the people are going to be like, well, I can't use that again because you're going to resist it.
And dudes, Kecleon has a 120 special defense, which is a lot. And
It's a
so he
lot.
can take a hit and like Color Change, taking hits, give him Sucker Punch to like mess with people. He's got a pretty hefty attack, like stat. He can do like a status move, give him Snatch, Magic Coat. That could be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's something that I would like to mess around with a lot. Probably in a doubles setting, because I think that's where he'll be able to shine. Having another Pokemon doing stuff next to him, I think that's where he'll get the most out of his experience. But I don't know.
I just thought of another set for it. I'm thinking of maybe like after you do your first 3 setup moves, then instead of having the Choice Scarf at first, trick the Choice Scarf when you can do Last Resort. So like you don't need the Choice Scarf until you can do Last Resort, and then after that you're not gonna be doing anything else.
And then you're fast enough.
And then you're just fast enough to get everything and sweep.
Yeah.
Might be
Gardevoir, Furret,
Gardevoir for it.
2014,
All right.
2016. Vote for them for president. All right, so that's the top 5. We're all real tired. This is the late night Dex podcast after our whole day.
Yeah.
So let's move on into the Fencers.
Da 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 da. Fencers. Da 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 da.
Da 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 da. Great. What normally happens is you send your answers to this question to thedexcast@gmail.com, thedexcast@gmail.com, and we'll read them on future podcasts. But first, we have to answer this week's question ourselves, and then you guys can send in your answers, which we'll read on the air. The question is, did Worlds affect your outlook on battling, competitive stuff, community stuff, etc.? And what? What did it do? How did it affect you?
Well, I mean, I think it's pretty obvious from most of what I've said during this podcast, but I'm super inspired. I want to create a VGC team, and I want to, in my normal battling, I want to use my favorites more.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you know, everyone knows I love Whimsicott and love Gastrodon, but like lately I've been kind of like replacing them for Pokemon that I think will perform better, and I don't want to do that. I want to just figure out ways to make them work, and it gave me like a really renewed sense of like hope in my friends, you know?
Yeah.
And which is like the whole point of Pokemon. So I'm definitely inspired, and I would like to try VGC. VGC.
I mean, I wholeheartedly agree. And even just like, not even just in the battle, but like the resounding like crowd support that Sejun got just when he got on stage and put his little Pachirisu like plushie on the table and everything. Like you can hear the audible cheer of like the people who like wanted to see it and they knew that that was like his thing and everything. That kind of stuff, it just like, and like not even just that and like the Pokemon Symphony and watching like the post videos from Worlds and all the community stuff that happened, reading Kevin's email that he sent us, like all this stuff is like really renewing my like what I'm getting out of the Pokemon community, like the like happiness that I take away from it.
Definitely.
And I don't know, it's like really encouraging me to like want to put more of that in so that, you know, other people can experience that.
Yeah, so cool. I mean, like, it's just been neat all the way around. Like, I'm really like excited to explore VGC myself.
Right.
But like also it's just like this whole like, you know, sort of like, I feel like we finally reached the point as the Pokemon community where you can do something and there's going to be a community there like for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I just think that like,
It's been a big year for Pokemon.
yeah, I think that we're getting to that point, like that like fighting game community point where there's like going to be celebrities and it's going to be kind of taken seriously as like an e-sport, both the cards and the game. Probably more the game just because it's easier and it's less of a financial investment. But like, I think we're going to see a lot more like unofficial stuff pop up. You know, like for years it's just been pretty much Smogon and whatever else. But I think, you know, we're going to see more cool stuff pop up and it's inspiring me, and I want to like do something with the community and like get involved. And I think it could be really just a, you know, the next year from today is going to be very exciting to see what like the Pokemon community holds.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm
Totally
excited.
agree.
I'm like so hype. Like so hype.
Definitely, man.
But yeah, that's that. So anything else we want to say
Let's get into some answers.
about that?
Answers, fancers.
You just want to jump into the answers, fancers?
Ba-da-ba-ba-da.
Answers, fancers.
Yes, I do.
Dancers.
Prancers.
Vixen.
Dashers.
Cupids.
Are we human or are we fancers?
Are we fancers? Yeah, so these are all, the next, what you're about to hear are all emails that were sent to us at thedexcast@gmail.com, THEDEX.
I'm sorry, I just remembered running amok.
God damn it.
That will be the title of this podcast.
Yes.
And I want everybody who appreciated that joke as much as I did to just tweet at me, just hashtag run amok.
Run amok.
Yeah, hashtag run amok. If you reach this point in the podcast, it's the greatest thing.
I can't promise I'll retweet every one of you, but I will want to.
Yeah, hilarious.
Sorry for interrupting.
All right. Send your emails to thedexcast@gmail.com. Let's jump into some emails. This one is from Chris. Says, Dear Alex, Kelly, Jimmy, and potential guest, I would like to start out by saying that you guys rock and I really enjoy your show. It's kind of funny how I came about to find your show. I first heard the Elite Four interview session that Kelly did for Cephazon, which included Cuddle of Death, Tamashi Hiroka, and Renee Collects.
Yeah,
After I
remember
listened,
that.
I knew how to check out the decks. But fanboying aside, I would like to comment on a few questions that I've been asked. Number 1, I would like to have a Mega Dragonite because he has been my favorite since I started with Pokemon Yellow. 2, I would want more subtle clothing from the PokemonCenter.com. I mean, I love Pokemon, but occasionally I wouldn't mind wearing Pokemon merchandise that people couldn't automatically tell it is Pokemon related.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
Yeah, like just something not so tacky, I guess. And as for my favorite gym leaders, my inner Gen 1er may be showing, but I loved every gym in the original game, although my favorite Gen is Johto, so I have a special affinity for them as well. Well, that is it for me. I hope you guys are doing well. Stay golden. Chris Guerra.
Thanks,
you.
Chris.
Yeah, man. Nice. Yeah, I get that. I get that that Pokemon Center stuff. I get that vibe. I know... I don't know if I want it to not be Pokemon merch, but I'd want it to be something that matches like my level of intelligence and intellect and like style.
Well, like, okay, think of it this way. Super training in X and Y. You know how like the super training bags are like themed around certain Pokemon depending on what stat they are. But it's like it takes you a while to like figure out like, oh, okay, defense is the Aggron line and speed is the Crobat line. Like, they are those, but they like, it's kind of subtle. You have to like figure it out for a second.
Right.
Stuff like patterns like that. Like, I'd love like a beanie that was like patterned like an Aggron, but not so specific. Not like an embroidered Aggron, like stuck on
like
the
a
side.
big red, like a big blue and yellow Pokemon logo.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Just something that's like, it could just go with clothes that I wear. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
great. Like actually wearable clothes.
Right.
It's what I always want. Like, it's so lame. Like when you get off like a ride, for example, like the Tower of Terror or something at
Right.
Disneyland, and you see these like horrible like black, purple, and green tie-dye shirts that are like, I survived the Tower of Terror. Like, I'm much more drawn to something that's like a bathrobe for the Hollywood Tower Hotel.
Right.
Yeah,
You know what I
it's so good.
That's
so clever.
It's cooler, it's nicer,
job, that
and
was
it
clever.
looks nice. You know what I mean?
The one person who's listening to this podcast who's wearing a Tower of Terror shirt just now is like
Just, like, looking
turned
down
it
and
off,
frowning.
Just turned off the podcast.
Or took off their shirt.
Got real sad.
Let me know if I actually caught you wearing that. Hashtag caught me.
Hashtag run
And we'll
amok.
send you a free deck shirt.
Yeah, I'll send you a deck shirt. No, that's wrong. You'd have to.
You'd have to have already recorded yourself listening to the podcast before you knew that that's what was going to
Right.
happen.
Okay. Yeah. I guess.
And have proof.
That's impossible. This is not. I'm not going to give anyone a shirt. This is a clearly exploitable plan. Don't worry about it. But that aside, let's jump into another email. And just to remind everybody, last week's question was, what are some things that you're worried are going to be letdowns?
In Omega Ruby
in
and
ORAS?
Sapphire.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So this one's from Kevin.
Hi,
And
Kevin.
it says, hey, Dex crew. One thing I'm really afraid that might be done poorly in ORAS is the Golem trio. Pokemon Ruby was the first Pokemon game that I actually owned for myself. Playing through the games and then, eventually finding out about the Reggies was one of the coolest experiences out of all my video game memories. This came from a time when my family hadn't owned a computer yet, and I picked up this info from reading a Ruby Sapphire strategy guide. My family was shopping in a bookstore. One of my biggest gripes about video games these days is that the story and campaign modes are too simple. They tell you every little step that you need to take. There's just no challenge. In ORAS, I hope they keep this sense of adventure and not stick a sign up on a route reading, hey, I bet something cool would happen if you put a Relicanth and Wailord in your party.
Right.
A few other things and mechanics I want to remain the same are berry blending, the bike path near Slate Port, Sky Pillar, and the Trickmaster challenges. Thanks, guys.
I forgot about the Trickmaster. Do you
Yeah?
guys remember that? Under the bike route. The like purple and yellow house. You go in and it's like weird like puzzles that require
Yeah,
like
and you have
cut
to like
and
figure
stuff.
it out.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. That's a good one. I
Yeah.
hope that's like expanded upon and not ruined.
Yeah, I hope nothing is
I
ruined.
totally agree with you in the fact that games are so tutorial heavy lately, and I think it comes from the fact that controls are much more complicated than they used to be, maybe. But like, still, I definitely agree that I would be upset if they handheld me through.
Yeah, and it's not
some of those
impossible to
puzzles.
make a compelling game without, like, for example, I mean, it's been on my mind all day. We just played PT.
Oh boy.
Which is this like horrifying, like sort of like backdoor demo for the new Silent Hill game that Kojima and Guillermo del Toro are working on together. And it's clearly a next gen experience. Like
Right.
it looks so amazing, but all you can do is walk around and look at stuff pretty
Yeah.
much. And it's so compelling and it's so well done and it has no real instructions to it. It's very much like an sort of like open sort of experience where you just kind of have to feel your way through it. And that's kind of what I like in games.
It's scary.
Yeah, it's very scary.
Yeah, it just kind of like hands you the game and like lets you.
Yeah. And it's successful. It's like
Yeah.
successful at being this new game.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope like it's interesting because looking back on it, I think the Reggie's puzzle is probably one of the most vague and difficult to figure out in the Pokemon.
Yeah.
Like games.
That was like meant for the playground.
That was like, yeah, that's like the oldest and then the biggest, and you kind of have to like, you really have to like, what exactly are they talking about with Pokemon, obviously, and then you have to find like, what's the oldest? What's the biggest? Is Wailord the biggest? Is it Steelix? Is it whatever? And like you can, I don't know, it's really neat. I really like that. Yeah.
What if the puzzle's different and it's harder?
Like if there's like a puzzle for each one, I'm in.
That'd
I'm
be
in.
so cool. The next email comes from Jared, who says, "Hello, Jimmy, Kelly, Alex, and guest. My answer to what I think will be in ORAS is the ability to customize your character. I know it seems like a no-brainer to have it in the game again, but as far as I know, nothing has been said about it. I feel like the classic Gen 3 character is just like the way Serena and Callum, I hope that's his name, wore the default clothing in X and Y. While I'm here, I'd like to propose a new Mega. I'd like to see Mega Volcarona. I'm not sure how its stats would need to change to benefit it, but I think it'd be cool if it slimmed down and looked a little more regal in the shape of its wings and made its head crest look more like a crown and gain of fluorescent aquamarine coloring. It gained an ability called Creep Out that works like Intimidate but lowers special defense by one stage.
Interesting.
It also gained a move I'd call Firestorm, a special fire attack with 90 power, 90 accuracy, and being a spread move like Earthquake and a guaranteed burn on all Pokemon hit. Thanks so much for your time, guys. I love the show and keep up the good work. Hooray for long emails. Not a long email.
Damn.
I like Volcarona. I wouldn't mind seeing
Firestorm.
I don't think he's
Crazy.
like one of the main guys who needs one. But
I do think maybe guaranteeing a burn might make that move a little bit too overpowered, but
Yeah.
having a good chance of a burn.
Like Sacred Fire gets a 50% chance.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Cool idea though.
Yeah.
all right. Yeah, thanks for the email, Jared. This next one is from Jason from San Juan, Puerto Rico, who says, I recently began listening to your podcast after my cousin came into town and got me to pop in my copy of Pokemon X after a several month hiatus. A couple hours later, I'm back on the Pokemon wagon. I started watching your show in an attempt to give me an edge on my cousin and his Poke team. I realized something. We play Pokemon for two different reasons. My cousin enjoys battling. He's a happy shelter playing Pokemon Stadium or whatever the kids are playing nowadays and strategizing to beat opponents. I, on the other hand, find the idea of battling with rental Pokemon no fun. Sure, battling is cool, but only because it's a demonstration of my team. It can't just be any random Glade. No, it has to be mine, the one I hatched from an egg and took on my epic adventure across the insert Gen 6 region here. That'd be Kalos. This leads me to my point. Sad face. I've become disillusioned with the Pokemon scene. With all the hackers, battling and trading seems pointless. Why should I bother trying to go online and battle with my shiny Caesar that took me 2 months, 200 hours, and 27 boxes to get, when random trainer can get a better one with perfect stats at the click of a button? All the dedication seems invalidated. I was disappointed to hear that Alex had given in to the dark side in order to obtain some Mons. My Pokemon aren't perfect, they don't have the Smogon moveset, and will never win VGC, but they're mine and I like them. I might never be able to catch them all, but that's part of the experience to me. I understand that not everyone plays Pokemon for the same reasons as me, and as such, some will be more content with the Pokemon they never knew or trained with perfect IVs, natures, etc. I just wish you'd stick to Pokemon Showdown where it doesn't affect me in my online experience. Sorry if that comes off selfish. I'm currently in the middle of the arduous task of trying to breed a competitive 5IV Heracross after watching your video. Please don't misconstrue my thoughts to mean I hate those who play with well-trained Pokemon. I'm just upset at those who obtain said Pokemon through less than legal means. If you put in the time, I believe you should be rewarded for your efforts. Sincerely, Jason, San Juan, Puerto Rico. P.S. You guys are awesome. Yes, even you, Alex, although I'm still disappointed and have awakened my interest in Pokemon once again. Thank you, Jason. Thank you for your mercy. Yeah, I mean, to each their own. I think I hate the fact that people try and bring Gen to Pokemon online.
Yeah, that's what bothers me is when people just like make a bunch of shiny Pokemon and release them all over on Wonder Trade. I think that makes me so upset.
See,
so upset.
I think the real thing that like really affects all this is that like there's a big difference between genning the Pokemon and playing to yourself, or playing with just the people you know, or playing, you know, like if you wanna be like I'll say some names. These are friends of mine, PokeTubers. If you want to be Hoodlum Scrafty, you know, King Nappy, their crew of people. I know they gen Pokemon and they do FFAs, or they do, you know, Wi-Fi battles with each other. Like, I don't think that's a problem at all. They're battling to each other. They're like testing out weird sets, but they're doing them in the Pokemon X and Y engine where it looks a lot cooler.
Yeah.
Like, they're not hurting anybody. They're just battling with themselves. And that's fine. That's great. I love that. Like, it makes great Pokemon content. It makes fantastic Let's Plays and battles. I think it's the idea of taking that into a other person's experience of the game. Like, because you, like, if somebody wants to hack to the end of whatever game they're playing, you know, be it Braid, my favorite game, or whatever, like, it's fine. Doesn't really ruin my experience of the game. I feel bad that you didn't get to experience it the right way, as far as I'm concerned. But if they hack into a multiplayer game, it's now affecting people around them.
Yeah, it's unfair.
Right.
Right, and it takes away from other people's experience of the game, which I think is what a lot of people who don't like genning don't like it for.
Well, I mean, look at it this way. In every official capacity that there is with Pokemon, genning your Pokemon is totally illegal and totally not allowed and totally wrong.
Right.
You know what I mean? If I want to battle someone and I want to do it, like you said, just like I want to do it on the DS because it looks nicer.
Yeah.
I don't feel bad about making a Pokemon that anyone can make, but I'm never ever gonna put it on the
GTS
and most of the people
or
who
use it in an official capacity if
right.
you're ever going
and most
to
of the people
do
who
that.
most of the people who do actually like put a ribbon on the Pokemon that get genned so that they can't be traded. And so I just urge you to stay offline with your hacked Pokemon. I don't know why you would do that. Why would you go online? I know that people do it like to get famous on Twitter and stuff like that. Like they give away a bunch of shinies. And I
don't know. And that's not to discredit, again, like PokeTuber friends, because I know that like some people that I know do want to trade Wednesdays with like hacked Pokemon. And they like give away something that's like themed to their channel or named by them with their original trainer number and stuff.
That's a little bit different.
Which is like, yeah, like
it's like you're kind of creating your own event Pokemon.
Right.
Sort of.
And I don't want to like alienate and discredit those people or like quote unquote call them out, because I don't think that's a bad thing, but I do think that it kind of sucks when you're like wonder trading away and you're hoping for a great Pokemon and you get like this level 100 shiny Mewtwo with, you know, perfect IVs and everything, and then it's like, oh, okay, well, I mean, it's good, but I don't know how I feel about this.
Make your trainer name hacked if you're gonna do that.
I think it's pretty obvious in most cases.
Oh, yeah, I mean, like, yeah, but I mean, you know, OT hacked makes me feel a little bit better about it because it depreciates the value of the Pokemon. It makes it less than that 200-hour, 2-month, 27-box shiny Caesar.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how I feel about it.
That was kind of tangentous of us, but
that's fine. Thank you, Jason, for that
thanks
email.
for the email.
And let's look at this. So here's one email that is directed
by Hideo Kojima and Guillermo del
it's directed
Toro?
directly to Jimmy.
Oh.
It's from P.
P?
Yeah, P. I just got the first initial.
All right.
To Jimmy, I thank you for opening my eyes to knockoff Scrafty. I started using one on Showdown, and I've swept many a team with one. Again, thank you. Also, Kels and Alex, keep up the good work. The rest of my Showdown team are Pokemon from the past episodes of the decks. Later, mans.
Hilarious.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah.
Thank you for the email, P. And I would encourage you to also direct your thanks to my friend Callum, Hoodlum Scrafty on Twitter.
The man.
Hoodlum Scrafty on YouTube as well.
That's his.
I saw that in one of his Wi-Fi battles. He did that. He was like the spawn of where I found that Scrafty build, bulk up knockoff, drain punch and rest with shed skin, careful nature, 252 in special defense and HP. And I pretty much took it from him, but he deserves the credit for thinking it up. But I'm glad that I'm showing people the light, or rather the dark fighting.
Yikes.
It's crafty.
All right. All right. Thank you, P.
Thank you.
This next email is from Dapper Dev Null. Dapper Dev Null. I don't know.
Dev Newell?
yeah.
Related to Gabe?
Hey guys, after surfing the web after Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire was announced, I remember coming across a leaked photo of the cartridge of the game. Instead of the usual 3DS cart, its plastic was colored in the red, blue, transparent style of the originals. More rumors began to surface with the copyright of Delta Emerald. It got me thinking about how cool it would be if both of these actually happened. I'd have a huge nostalgia attack, and if I was able to pop in the sweet green cart of Delta Emerald into my 3DS. But maybe that's too much wishful thinking. In other news, I decided to tackle a challenge I've been wanting to do for a long time, draw all 151 Gen 1 Pokemon.
Dang.
I just returned from the store with a 3-inch binder and piles of sheet dividers. I've already knocked out 12 before realizing I need a place to store them all. After I'm done with the sketches, I plan to go back and color them all and maybe even move on to more generations. But who knows, we'll probably be at Gen 12 by then. Pics will come as it nears completion. Stay
Wonderful.
cool, guys.
Send pics
Oh,
whenever.
that's awesome.
Don't wait for completion. We want to see your artwork.
That's a rumor that I've never heard that will now disappoint me if it's not true.
If we don't get the Ruby and Sapphire cartridges.
Yeah, that would be such a big time bummer time.
You know what? Do you think that they could make an adapter cartridge for the DS, for the 3DS, that's like a 3DS cart with like a Game Boy Advanced like cart on top of it
That plays Game Boy Advance games?
to like plug in Game Boy Advance games and like play them through like a like essentially think Super Game Boy.
They could do it. Will they instead sell the games to you again on the eShop? Yes.
But think about it.
I'll think about it all day. I'll dream about it. I'll tell everyone they should do it.
Guys, I
sell
just
that thing
wanna-
for $100. I'd buy it.
I mean, actually, yeah,
Yeah.
probably. Realistically, yeah.
Seriously.
Don't give them any ideas.
But yeah. Okay, so this next one's from Hippie Jim. Hey, Dexcast crew.
Hey.
Hippie Jim here. Just listen to episode 24 of the podcast and have an answer for your annual question. What? I think there's a possibility that trainer customization won't return. In all of the promotional art and footage we've seen of the protagonists, they've been wearing updated versions of what they wore in RSE, other than the contest clothing. With X and Y, they showed a few of the clothing selections, but most of the footage showed the pro tags in their default clothing, if I recall correctly. Also, we still haven't seen hair or hide of the Battle Frontier. That sort of scares me. Hopefully, I'm wrong.
I think that's the thing that they'll hold and just you'll find it in the game. They didn't say anything
I'm
about
not
Friends
worried about
Safaris,
the
did
Battle
they?
Frontier. No. Except I think they said they're coming back.
No, I mean for X and Y. When X and Y were coming out, they didn't like release like there's a lot
I
of
don't think they said anything about Friends Safaris.
Yeah, you guys got to think about how like X and Y wasn't like 100% known to us when we got the games. We still had to figure out a lot with the games and like what's going on. Like I think that there's going to be stuff like that in Ruby and Sapphire. I honestly think that we're just going to find like the Battle Frontier and we're going to find new areas or something, and it's not going to be like this big sell. It's going to be like stuff for the people who buy it. They'll find it and it'll be cool. So that's what I'm thinking with the Battle Frontier. As far as customization, I think you're right. I don't think it's coming back unless we get like contest costume customization. Say that 7 times. Tweet it at me with hashtag #runamok.
Great. All right, yeah, thanks for that.
Thank you.
The next email comes from Ace Trainer Mike. Hey, Alex, Jimmy, Pokekells, and guest. Been listening to all the podcasts as they debut, but haven't been able to send in a response to a question in a while because reasons. The last time I wrote in was about a potential Darksiders/apocalyptic themed Mega Evolution for Rapidash, and I was stoked when you guys read it on the podcast.
I remember that.
Like Jimmy said, the artistic style for Death's Horse would make an awesome addition to a traditional Pokemon that I feel could use an extra spark. On to this week's question. You guys asked what would be our biggest letdowns for ORAS when they release, and although my initial reactions involved Mega Evolutions and Move Tutors, the biggest excitements I've had for each Pokemon game that gets released is changes in game mechanics that either make previous features easier to perform or improve overall gameplay. For example, cutting save time significantly, being able to run without pushing buttons, shortcuts, and don't even get me started on being able to move diagonally. I damn near flipped a table when I first did it in X version after playing the first 3 hours of it in the traditional up-down, left-right format. Anyway, I digress. My biggest letdown for ORAS, as it has been for each incarnation of the game thus far, would be the absence of actual Pokemon cries. It is consistently the one thing that pokes at me each game. Not to make it seem like I don't like or appreciate the current cries, I love them, and Kells, yours are spot on, great job. But I would love to be able to throw out a Pokemon and hear its cries if it were a real creature. I mean, Squirtle is my all-time favorite Pokemon, and how sick would it be to hear him say its name when it pops out on screen? They've already done it with Pikachu. In truth, this would not make or break the game for me at all. I love Pokemon and would play it no matter what they did. We have each our own likes and dislikes for the games, but overall we appreciate what the games encompass. Thanks again for doing a great job. The channel's great. I look forward to the Dex episodes each week, and the Dex Versus helps me see battling from a different person's perspective, which I appreciate. Keep up the amazing work, Ace Trainer Mike. P.S. Don't remember if you guys said that you'd be running out of top 5 ideas. I think you did, because I faintly remember Alex mentioning something about the anime, but I figured it wouldn't hurt to give some suggestions on things that I'd like your opinion on.
Sweet.
Top 5 of each type and each of your individual top 5 Pokemon of all time. Tentative because the list is ever growing.
Right. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I mean,
Thank you.
sure.
Yeah.
I blanked. I was gonna say a thing.
About the voices?
Oh, yeah. I think the perfect solution, the one that would make everybody happy, by default, or maybe even make it an option right in the start of the game when the professor's first talking to you. Pokemon full voiced cries available. Also option to do traditional sound effect cries. Because then, for example, if there's a person who doesn't want to hear Scoliped's stupid voice, I don't know if you've ever watched the black and white anime.
How does it
Scoliped's
sound?
stupid voice is stupid. I will not make that stupid voice. If you don't want to hear that, you can just turn on the game cries and hear the sound effects, which I like a lot. I think they bring the unique side of the games out. They kind of embody what the games are, separate from the anime and stuff. I like Pikachu's cry. I would love to hear Squirtle. Like, there's some Pokemon voices I love. I love Squirtle's voice. I love Cubone's voice. Like, little things like that. But there are some that I definitely would not want to hear.
Yeah, and it's kind of a shame that Pikachu has his voice
Right.
because it now sort of like confirms that we're not getting the full fidelity cry of that Pokemon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because he says his name, it's likely that they're all, like, in the reality of the Pokemon world, all saying their names, and we're just hearing, like, the animal version because
Yeah,
it carries
yeah.
over from the Game Boy. But the Switch would be the thing that sold me on it. If I could turn it on and off, that would be the Switch. Because I think that it would be cool. But
Yeah.
I don't want to give up my cries because I like them too much.
Yeah.
Like that Mewtwo cry, it's like timeless. It's like, that's Mewtwo, duh.
Articuno.
Yeah. But yeah.
I like Zapdos's, speaking of the legendary bridge. It's like a heavy metal arpeggio. Like,
Yeah. It sounds
great. I love
like
it.
somebody like turning on a guitar like that's really loud and just kind of like moving around while touching it.
That's great.
Yeah, thanks for that email. The next one comes from Danny, who says, "Hello, Alex, Jimmy, and Kels. Last episode during the Fancers, you talked about having a more mature anime in the Pokemon universe, and Alex referenced Evangelion as a very good psychological show that delves into deep emotional issues like coming of age and such. And I would like to say, first off, hell yeah for Evangelion, because that show is fantastic. And second off, that kind of theme could be a great way to delve into some of the mysteries surrounding Pokemon. Imagine an anime based around insert evil team member who realizes through traumatizing events his cause and his friends he fights with are all corrupt and then attempts to topple the organization. Or maybe a trainer whose Pokemon runs away from him after either constant neglect or abuse. These ideas aren't really very fleshed out well, but I think you get the point. As long as whoever makes the show doesn't make their message too heavy-handed, it could be a nice departure from Ash's seasonal amnesia and lack of common sense or maturity.
Right.
Later, man or woman, I don't discriminate, Danny. P.S. Consider the following. Mega Melodic dropping the water typing and becoming Dragon Fairy. Later, man.
Cool.
Interesting.
AKA
Two Dragon Fairy Megas.
There are two instances of the anime that I want to point out real quick. One, you talking about saying things too heavy-handed. I think that the Pokemon anime, is a little bit too light-handed, of course. Because you were talking about like, you know, Pokemon neglected and abused, and that's basically what Charmander was. But because it was too like light-handed and like, I mean, like he was like Charmander, like because it wasn't taken like super seriously. It wasn't, we all like felt bad for Charmander, but none of us were like, oh yeah,
Right.
this is consequences. On the other hand, something I recently saw and that blew my mind was the Mega Lucario episode of the Pokemon anime.
That was crazy.
And the battle between Pikachu and Lucario, and then Pikachu and Mega Lucario, was brutal.
Yeah.
It was insane. It was something I had never seen anything
He
like
beat
that.
the crap out of him.
He really looked like he hurt Pikachu, and then when he had Mega Evolved, he lost control and was very scary. And that I was just like riveted. And I personally, if the anime is going in that direction, I want to get back into it.
It ended, and she turned him, and she was like, "Are we gonna watch the whole X and Y anime right now?" And I was like, "All right."
It's
That's crazy.
It's actually interesting though. I think the most, not heavy-handed, but the most like impactful like Pokemon message thing that I remember was in like the second episode, or no, not like the second, but like it's like one of the first like 5 episodes where Ash catches Caterpie, and Misty is like super like hates Caterpie and is just like being just openly hateful towards the like a bug that she hates. And it's like, I don't know if like anybody else noticed this. I saw a thing recently that like recapped it. It's like a clear and present message on like racism and just like diversity in general, because like she hates Caterpie and is like making it cry because she hates it. And then Ash like is like, Caterpie can't help what he is. That's how he was born. You don't have to be so hard on him just because it's not something that you like. And it's just like, holy hell. Like,
Wow, I never noticed
they like
that.
tackled like homophobia
Lessons.
and racism in like one fell swoop, talking about like a Caterpie in like an early episode, and nobody even caught it. And if they did more stuff like that was like relevant and real good issues, I think I'd be pretty open to it. After watching 12 episodes of the Black and White anime, I didn't see any of that.
Gay Caterpie confirmed.
Oh my gosh.
Oh boy.
Hilarious. All right, yeah, thank you for that email. This next one comes from Dear Mid, who says, "Hey guys, firstly, great job on getting the Dex to be as successful as it is today. While Pokemon's popular for show, trivia and battle strategies are definitely a bit more esoteric than a vanilla gaming Let's Play channel, but you totally nailed it. I've been watching since your first couple videos, and while they were awesome and unique, they get noticeably more and more refined with every episode.
Thank
As
you.
for some of your questions regarding the dread stomach inevitable letdowns of ORAS, I have 2 basic fears. Megas-wise, ORAS will probably have its bases covered, but I bet they'll leave out Mightyena. While it got Moxie in Gen 5, it's always suffered stat-wise. It also garners a lot of jeering for being a bit too edgy, but I think most people who play Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald end up with one. It's basically one of Hoenn's signature Pokemon. All that, and it kind of feels like a counterpart to Manectric and Houndoom, with whom it was a version exclusive in Black, White 2 and Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, and they got Megas. Mightyena needs some help. My second fear is that they'll screw up remixing the music. I'm a Tonehound guitarist, and I listen to a lot of instrumental surf, garage, and 8-bit stuff. You should check out my band, bro. So far, the opening theme trailer music sounds okay, but Gen 3 sound fonts were really bubbly and bouncy and sound really powerful and unique upon listening back. I feel forcing the same tunes into MIDI, washy, orchestral arrangements might dilute the feel of the whole game. But I guess we'll see. The PWT remixes of Hoenn, Gym Leader, and Champion were definitely a step in the right direction, so it could well be great. Anyway, thanks for your time. Keep on battling the good battle. I'll spell my name phonetically so you can read it. Dear Mid.
Great.
Thank you for the great email.
Yeah,
Thank
man.
you. Yeah, that was very cool.
I still remember a lot of the opening like jingles that play when you jump onto a route in that one. That one was the exact one I was thinking. It's so funny. In Pinball Ruby and Sapphire, it's even more like obnoxiously horns.
Yeah, I kind of like, I like it
It's
in the
so-
small speaker.
I hate to use the word. I know Satchel's gonna be at my throat. It's so charming.
Yeah. It is, though. It is. Like, it's charming because it's like a little toy box that
Yeah.
you have. And,
Yeah.
like, it's like pretending to be epic in your
Right.
hands. And when you listen to that music, like, out of, like, you know, your computer's, like, nice computer speakers or whatever, and it's like, it's like so much worse. But on that little speaker, it sounds powerful. It's,
Right.
It's exciting.
I think
Yeah.
the music. I think they're gonna knock it out of the park, especially with symphonic evolutions like happening. I think they're like aware that
The
people
Pokemon
love the
music,
Pokemon music.
yeah, the Pokemon music never been bad.
And I think it's getting progressively more progressive with
Yeah.
every game.
It's very
Like
interesting each time.
Diamond and Pearl, Black and White 2, and
Black
now
and
X
White
and
2
Y.
spoken.
They have so many interesting and like unique songs, and it's very like makes me hopeful for what they're going to be doing with the remixes.
Dear Mid, though, check out The Squids LA on Bandcamp. You might like this. Check it out. I like that. Thanks for the email, bro. Okay, so
I think one more.
let's do one more, and then let's quickly read
Kevin's.
Kevin's. Yeah.
Aw.
So this one's from Andy Gerch.
Gerch.
The bumper guy. What's up, fellas and lady? You guys flipping rock. Keep doing your thing. Anyways, to answer the question, I do not think that we will see the Safari Zone in ORAS. My favorite Safari Zone was always the one from Gen 3 because you could put Poffins in the boxes that were in the grass patches, and depending on what you put in different Pokemon would be more likely to appear.
Oh, right.
Forgot about that.
I also do not think we will see the Mach and Acro bikes making a return, but instead it'll be a bike that can do both instead of having two separate ones.
Interesting you say
Keep
that.
up the fantastic work. Hey, funny that happened,
Funny
right?
that you do.
Andy Gertz. P.S. I love how you guys keep using my audio bumpers. Thank you so much. Expect to see a few more in the upcoming weeks.
Thank you.
All right.
got it.
Mr. Gertch.
You got it, brah.
Gertch.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
the
I love
Safari,
your name.
This is going to make me feel the loss of the Safari Zone because there was
Yeah.
one and then there isn't one. But maybe there will be one. Who knows? It's not called the Friend Safari Zone. It's called the Friend Safari. So maybe it'll be called the Friend
Zone.
Friend
The
Ranch.
friend zone.
Ouch.
Yeah,
Anyway,
we'll go put on our Kigurumis and hang out with Dodger and Chad.
that's a Polaris reference.
Check it out, Polaris.com.
I mean, you don't have to. I'm kidding.
Yeah, you don't have to.
joking.
We are no way affiliated with Polaris, but
Poffins,
there's some
though.
cool dudes.
The Poffin box. I didn't even remember that, and I really, really like
It
that.
felt really animal-y.
It felt like nature-y.
It felt like zooey. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
so many words that don't really
Exist.
have a,
You put
a
a little
wide-
bird. You put a little bird feeder in your backyard, and you get so excited when little birds come, and you're like, ah, and it's just like that.
Imagine if you did that, but with
like
Pokemon.
like Hariyama.
It's like, come on, little guy.
Horrifying.
Come on, little guy.
Horrifying.
What was the video of the feeding the fox?
Oh, it was Garbage the
Stamper.
Fox. It was Stamper.
So funny.
But with like a Vulpix.
All right, we're already
Yeah.
at an hour 20. Let's
Oh,
read.
wow.
Let's read Kevin Bobbitt's email real quick.
We've been having a fun time.
Hey, Alex, Kels, and Jimmy. First off, I just want to thank you guys for helping me make this the best weekend ever. I had an amazing time at Worlds, and I wish you guys could have been there with me. I hope these pictures and this email suffice. Walking around the convention center and seeing all these top players and the fans just made me feel so much closer to the community. People are so kind and helpful. I saw a ton of people walking around with the shirts from the Yeti and kept wishing you guys could see how far your fan base reaches. www.theyeti, like a t-shirt.com/thedex. The people are so kind and helpful. I saw a ton of people. I already read that line. I've never seen such top-level play in my life. Watching every match and learning the ins and outs of the game made me want to work even harder to get there next year. I ran into a ton of YouTubers and players, as you can see from the pictures. If any of you guys are listening and you know who you are, you guys are the best, and I hope we all keep in touch before next year's rolls around. But anyway, I rambled a little. I'm sure you guys saw the final match with Sejun versus Jody. I got to speak with Sejun and ask him about how he felt going into the match, and he sounded so confident it blew my mind. The Pachirisu that you despise so much, Kelly, was the clutch Pokemon to win the tournament. On to the concert. Besides the small hiccup we had for me picking up my tickets, that was the greatest night I had the whole weekend. I was seated so close to the orchestra. It blew me away. The music was vibrant and heart-pounding at parts, but quickly changed to a more mellow tone when crossing over into Generation 2 before the horns started in Generation 3. In Generation 4, we got more serious tones when dealing with Team Plasma, and in Generation 5 when N was crowned a king. From the final battle with N, we reach a more calm tone that could melt your heart as it went into Generation 6 and the heartbreaking finale of Kieski, the song that plays when you defeat AZ. Each song was accompanied by a video or a picture that helped set the mood and showed off that nostalgic game footage of the past generations of Pokemon. I made sure to take pictures when Ampharos was being used for Kelly.
I saw those.
On the first night, Masuda came out and conducted the encore, but because the tournament ran late, he wasn't able to come to night 2. The encore also had everyone in the audience singing Gotta Catch 'Em All in a corny but heartwarming fashion. If this concert comes near you, you guys need to go ASAP. Overall, Worlds 2014 was amazing. I met a ton of people who I can now consider friends that I hope to see in the coming years as I plan to attend more official events. Pokemon brings together a community like I've never seen, from the intense players to the parents who support their children through the game and cheering them on as their #1 fans. So that's it, guys. Thank you for making my weekend wonderful, and now I think I'm the longest email, but I'm sure it's okay under these circumstances. Also, Alex, I have the special Aegislash for you, and I also have the event Shirachi for you as well. I hope you enjoy those. Anyway, thank you guys again, and have a good day. Later, man. And
Thank
then
you
he
so
has
much,
a bunch
Kevin.
of
Well, we're super glad, first of all,
bunch
that,
of pictures. They're all
that
really
you
cool.
had a great time at the concert.
Maybe we can.
so
maybe we
that's
post
great.
those pictures on the Facebook.
We can post them.
Oh,
The Dex
yeah.
Facebook page.
Kevin, when you get this, be like, yeah, go ahead and post them or no.
Yeah,
Just let us
let
know.
us know if we can or
I'm
cannot.
I'm sure he won't mind, but I just want him to. I just want him because he's like in a lot of them.
Right. Once we right, but once we find out about that, I mean, you could just go ahead and like our Facebook page regardless. YouTube.com.
Facebook.com/the National Dex.
Not
at YouTube.
YouTube.com.
You can't find that at YouTube.
You can go to that too, youtube.com/National Dex. But go to the Facebook one and like it. Hopefully we'll be able to post some of that stuff and show you guys what Worlds was like. And even more hopeful, I'm sure you guys are with me on this, that the Dex can make it to Worlds 2015.
Oh, there's
Dude.
no way I'll miss it.
Yeah, I'm there.
I want to go really badly as a spectator. I don't
Well,
need to.
unless
I don't
it's
need
like,
to-
you know, in like,
Antarctica.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just. Oh, it was so awesome.
Just hearing about it is
did it.
making me
I've never regretted something so much.
not going to Worlds.
Yeah, I should have like planned it for like the whole year as soon as I knew.
Now that like it didn't hold as much weight before I knew, and now like looking back on it, I'm just like I wish that I could have gone. I wish I could have been there and seen it.
Sure.
We just had such a busy summer that it just didn't work out. But next year maybe we'll be bigger and better, and it'll be easier for us to do something like that. But yeah, I think that's it for this week, right?
Right.
So we'll see you guys next week. Keep playing Pokemon, man. I'm like really feeling the love this week.
And definitely don't forget, we mentioned it earlier, but our Patreon has been officially launched today.
Yeah,
Go check
With
that
new
out.
tiers, everything is better. I think it's just it's a good change for the Patreon. If you want to directly support the Dexcast, the Dex, our good friend, That One Video Gamer, go head over there. Patreon.com/ThatOneVideoGamer is
yeah,
where you find it.
Patreon.com.
And it goes towards like office equipment, like the rent, the stuff that makes the
It
channel
literally,
and everything
just
that we
makes
do.
it easier for us. It's not like we're using it to like buy like. We're not
we
like
had-
rich because of the
It's not
internet.
like profit. It's
If
not
we were
profit.
rich, we
it's-
would have been at Worlds.
Yeah.
No, seriously though, it helps us do this.
It helps us do that. It
this.
helps us go to Worlds. It
Right.
helps us get equipment for us and for the other people who work with us.
Like,
And
put it into perspective, like a year ago, we were, 20K subs?
a year ago, we were 20K subs. We were working out of my bedroom in my underwear.
Right. And just like a short year later, we have all this support from you guys, and we're working out of an office, and we got asked to help out with the Pokemon Symphony, like
Yeah, dude, our name was in the credits. That was
and we got
crazy.
to like post an official clip on our channel with a bunch of other like YouTubers that we admire. So yeah, I don't know. That
And-
support goes a whole long way.
yeah, it really
and
is.
it's really all you
Yeah.
guys.
It's a yeah. Anyway,
all
Thank
right. So yeah, without any further ado, I'm Alex.
I'm Jimmy.
And I'm Pokekels.
and we'll see you next week, guys. Later, man.
Bye.
Later, man. Later, man.